This 1-800 lawyer gets to file a suit hiding behind Jane Doe. And when they quickly realize that the money grab is going to fail, they get to walk away with no repercussions. The system has failed. So the woman who accused rapper Jay-Z of essaying her when she was a minor, and this allegation happened last year, well, she and her lawyers have dropped their lawsuit, their civil lawsuit, not only against him, but also against Sean P Diddy Combs, who is currently locked up. This made a big stink in the industry and, of course, made a splash across news organizations because it's Jay-Z. He's a rap mogul. He's extremely wealthy. He's married, of course, famously to Beyonce. So that civil lawsuit has been dropped. The case has been dismissed with prejudice, meaning that they're not allowed to refile at a future date. We're going to get into the video really quickly, but I want to, I'm going to get into talking about this, but I want to read the statement from Jay-Z because I remember doing a video late last year when this news dropped. And I remember saying, listen, guys, I think we should just kind of wait it out. And it's not because it's Jay-Z and he's wealthy and he has power and all that stuff, but you know, this type of allegation is so serious and so damaging to somebody that if it's revealed that it's not true or the person drops the case or something like that, you know, the effects reverberate forever. You know what I mean? And I certainly wouldn't want anybody to make an accusation like that against me. And so I just treated it as such. I told people to just be patient, just wait. So it's now been dropped. And a lot of YouTubers, of course, jumped on this and many of them said that he did what he was accused of doing. But I want to read what Jay-Z had to say following the victory because it's very strong language. And it was strong language last year when this news broke. Like he came out like guns a-blazing, talking about the fact that he was not guilty of these things that they said he was. And only that, he challenged Buzbee, Tony Buzbee, who is this woman's attorney, to not only file a civil lawsuit, but to file a criminal one. You know, if this were indeed true and he was an adult and he essayed somebody who was a child at the time, then why just stop at the civil lawsuit? So I said at the time, listen, these are strong words. He'd better be sure or he better be telling the truth because if not, they're going to destroy him. But the case has been dismissed. So this is his quote. It says, "Today is a victory. The frivolous, fictitious, and appalling allegations have been dismissed. This civil suit was without merit and never going anywhere. The fictional tale they created was laughable if not for the seriousness of the claims." Now, that is a line that we heard the last year in his response. "I would not wish this experience on anyone. The trauma that my wife, my children, loved ones, and I have endured can never be dismissed." Again, there were some similarities to his previous statement, but I certainly understand that because that was a lot for our family, as it would be for any one of your family if you didn't do anything. He says, this 1-800 lawyer gets to file a suit hiding behind Jane Doe. And when they quickly realize that the money grab is going to fail, they get to walk away with no repercussions. The system has failed. We're going to continue with the video in a second, but before we do, if you like what you're seeing, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Also, don't forget to engage, leave comments down below. And if you want to support this channel and keep it independent, please go into the description box. You'll see the various ways that you can do so. Also, pick up a few items from the merch store, which is now open. You have 25% off until February 28th, so do not wait. Now, let's get back to the video. Because there are people who were saying, oh, they must have settled quietly. No, if they settled quietly, there would be no dropping of the case. There'd be no, oh, we're dismissing this case with prejudice. It would have just been two parties quietly settling in the background. And if they settled in the background, Jay-Z and his team would certainly not come out with a statement like this. And I've said too on this platform, when I was talking about a woman who had made an accusation about some lacrosse players many, many decades ago. And she lied and said that she was also essayed at a party. That is so unfortunate that the person's lives, or in those instances, those young men's lives, you know, were greatly impacted. And then there was nothing happened to the woman who made the accusation. There are a lot of holes in this story as well with this woman who accused Jay-Z. But, you know, People don't like him. They don't like his family. I think a lot of it is jealousy. I don't know him personally. I don't know what he does personally. So I'm not going to swear for anyone. But what I will say is that, in reading through comments and watching people's reactions to it, it was like they were almost like gleeful that this happened to him. They were happy that this sort of brought him down a notch. And so, obviously he's very happy. And what he says here is the system has failed, because what's the consequence for someone who makes an allegation like this? The woman in question maintained her anonymity. I suppose he and his team know who she is. We don't know who she is. And the person who's splashed across newspapers and TV stations, of course, is Shawn Carter and his family. His statement concludes, the court must protect victims, of course, while with the same ethical responsibility, the courts must protect the innocent from being accused without a shred of evidence. And this is something I've also said as well. We have a saying in the Bahamas, mouth can say anything. Mouth can say anything, meaning I can say anything. I can accuse anyone of anything. You can accuse, all you need is a little opportunity for, a little shred of opportunity that someone could say, there's a possibility that what this person is saying is true. Let's just say you work in an environment. I'm just pulling this out. You work in an environment and your boss may have said, oh, nice skirt one time. And someone overheard it. Or you look really nice, nice shape. I'm just saying. And someone says, now I'm going to make up a story because he won't give me a raise. I'm going to make up a story that he, came on to me, or he did something, or when we were working by ourselves, he did something to me. The people who would have heard that boss saying, oh, nice skirt or nice shape, can say, he did make some sort of comment about her. She did seem a bit uncomfortable. It just needs one little piece of opening and people can run with that. Anyone can allege anything. You can say that someone essayed you. You can say that someone hit you. You could say that someone stole from you. You could say anything and people will run with that. And it's so hard even after you've tried to clear your name or you've successfully cleared your name in the courts. People still will say, yeah, he did it. That person they did that. I know what the court said, but I'm not going to believe that person did it. And it's really unfortunate. He says, may the truth prevail for all victims and those falsely accused equally. I don't know why she dropped it. I don't know if her lawyer said, listen, there's so many holes in this. There's no way we can win. And I would think that he would have done his due diligence, Mr. Buzbee, from the beginning, to say, even if I believe you, what is the court likely to believe, or what's a jury likely to believe given these inconsistencies? So let me just read a little bit of the background here. This woman, she's an adult now, but she claimed that Shawn Carter, along with Sean Combs, SA'd her in 2000 after Combs' limo driver offered her a ride to an after party for the MTV Awards. But all these people who she mentioned in this lawsuit, I don't know if their brain just got foggy or it just didn't happen. Her father, for example, had denied ever picking her up from a party, and I think he would have had to driven several hours to come and get her. And he says, I don't have any recollection of that. That's something I think a lot of people would remember. I mean, shoots, I remember years ago when my mother came to pick me up from a function, and my friend's mother didn't pick her up, and my mother had to drop her all the way in a totally different direction from where we were living, and I didn't hear the end of it. Like, she wasn't going to leave her there because she was a kid. Well, we were teenagers, right? She wasn't going to leave her there, but at the same time, she was like, I will never be like, she was so angry. So, and that was maybe 40 minutes, you know what I mean? Imagine hours. You will definitely remember that. And like I said, I was a teenager at the time. So let's see what ABC News is reporting. They have this former Florida State Attorney, Dave Aronberg, who's discussing the dismissed lawsuit. So let's hear his opinion about this.
All right, now to burden of proof, where we jump into some of the biggest legal cases of the week. Joining me today is former Florida State Attorney Dave Aronberg. Dave, good to have you back again on this Saturday. We want to begin with this big development. The Alabama woman who said she was by rappers Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs when she was 13, has actually withdrawn her lawsuit against both men. Both men have denied these claims, and documents submitted by her attorneys did not include any reason or explanation for the withdrawal. Jay-Z's release, his attorneys released a statement saying, in part, the system has failed, and claims that this was simply a money grab. What do you think happened here?
Bill, good to be back with you. This was a troubling allegation because, first off, there were inconsistencies with her story, and it was a very serious allegation. And for instance, she said that her father picked her up from Rochester, New York to New York City, 5-hour drive, and then drove her home that night. But the father did not remember any of it. That's something you would definitely remember. And she also said there were other celebrities she spoke to at the party. Those celebrities were not even there at the party. So I think what happened is this woman's claims weren't vetted properly. And then once the inconsistencies were revealed, they then cut bait. And in exchange for dismissing this, the plaintiff's lawyers here are not going to be found to be liable under the law for any misdeeds. They're not going to be sent to the bar for any disqualification. So they're just both going to go their separate ways.
Okay, so I'm just going to stop right there. I want to read a comment here in the comment section for that. This is a very short clip because I'm not going to go too deep into it. But for this commenter says, why does the media get to glaze over the accuser dropping her case? I couldn't agree more. Let's dig in like everyone dug into the accusations. Nobody should be able to make such accusations and have no consequences, not the accuser and not the attorneys. And I 100% agree with that. You don't get to destroy someone's life or potentially destroy someone's life. And then, oops, they dropped the case. So on to the next one. And this happens in the media all the time. Now, had the court proceeded and said, oh, we're going to move ahead with this case, and it wasn't dismissed, they would have still been on the Carters. They would have still been on Jay-Z. So why is it fair for them to just kind of drop it? And this is why this is probably a video that's not even going to perform that well on my channel. But I have to do the follow up to this. I mean, I wasn't even accusing him in the first one, but still, I want to do the follow up to let people know, hey, there's some closure here. But I don't know what Jay-Z is going to do, but I do appreciate if he's innocent, his willingness to say, I'm not going to let you get away with this. And fortunately for someone like Jay-Z, he has the resources to pursue this to the end of the earth. Do you understand? I always think about the people who are accused of things and they don't have the first dollar to go and get the finest lawyer or the finest team of lawyers to fight on their behalf. And I think, honestly, because other people may have done it, I think that the lawyer Buzbee probably was banking on Mr. Carter writing a check, because that's what happens. A lot of celebrities are like, I cannot take the hit. I cannot take the hit to my reputation. I'll just write a check. And sometimes they're not even guilty, but they're going to be pragmatic. Like, what do I need to do to just make this go away? I just need to make this go away. And I think for other people out there, if you know you're innocent, then fight. If you have the resources, fight. But don't let this happen like this, because, I don't know. And there are people who say, these celebrities, and Jay-Z might be no exception, that he probably has paid off people in the past. I don't know. I don't know them. I don't know if they've paid people off. I know celebrities have quietly settled a lot of matters because it just wasn't worth it. But this is serious. He was accused of essaying somebody who was the age of his daughter, the age that his daughter is now. As a matter of fact, Blue Ivy, I believe, was 12. She was 12. She just turned 13. She was 12 when these allegations came out. And so you can't tell me that you didn't see him standing next to his daughter and started to think, oh, this don't look good, But drop your comments down below. What do you think about this? And again, what do you all think should happen to people when they make accusations like this and then it just goes away? Oh, case dismissed, lawsuit dropped, no big deal. Because I can guarantee you, regardless of what this outcome was, there will always be people who think of Jay-Z in that way. And there will always be people who say, he paid her off. I don't see it. I see it as just as what it is. It was a lot of holes, a lot of inconsistencies. And like this lawyer said, she was not properly vetted. She could not have been. Anyway, drop your comments down below and I will see you all in my next episode. By the way, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel a great deal. It lets YouTube know that you value the content and they can share it even more with more people who you feel would benefit from this. Oh, you know who I want to hear from? I don't want you guys to just weigh in on this topic. I don't want you to just weigh in on Jay-Z. I would love to hear from you all, men or women, who may have been accused. Who may have been accused of essaying someone, or it could have been more benign than that. You know, if you've been accused and you were innocent, like, I'd love to hear from you. Like, how did you handle that? Because like I said, a lot of people don't have the money and the resources to fight. But let me know. Let me know down below. I'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye.